Hi, I'm Karen. We're here at Montevilla Sewing Center, and today we're talking about the Janome Skyline S7. In this video, I'm going to show you the basic maintenance on this machine. To start with, we want to unthread our machine and make sure your presser foot is up. Take the thread, cut it there, and pull it out at the needle area. There we go. Okay, now, to start with, I want to show you how to take this little plate off of here, and it's every now and then you want to take it off, make sure there's no lint and stuff. You just pull that straight up like that. You can clean that little brush. That brush is there to help kind of condition the thread so that it flows really nicely through your machine. And then to put it back on, I'm going to angle it in this way, and you may need to kind of work with, there we go. Okay. There's a little pin here. You need to get that down in there before you get the little plastic tenons. It may take a little practice, a little patience to get that on there. Just give yourself time to do that, and once you get it, it'll be easy for you to do that. Okay, so now we're going to take the foot off like that. Set that off to the side. And also, I'm going to go ahead and do my lockout key right here. Now, what that does is it makes it so that if we accidentally press on the pedal, nothing's going to happen. Okay, so I lifted the presser foot back up, and I'm going to take my needle out here. Loosen this little screw on the side, pull the needle straight down. It is easier to do this without the presser foot in the way. I'll put this over to one side like that. And then we want to clean the lint out from under the needle plate here. So we take this accessory tray, push down, and no foot, no needle in the way. You can take your, here's that piece of thread. You can take the needle plate right off like that. Now, get your brush that comes in your accessory kit, take out the bobbin case. This is your bobbin case, so you want to clean the lint on all sides away from that real good, like clean lint from in here. You'll notice especially lint will build up in this area and in the feed dogs if you have sewn something fuzzy like quilt batting or flannel. Lint tends to build up in here, and you'll notice in other areas, but especially in the feed dogs and in the bobbin area. And this is where the thread cutter mechanism is, so visually inspect that to make sure that there are no threads. You can also use your vacuum cleaner hose attachment as you're brushing, and that will pull out your lint that's in there. But you don't want to use that canned air, that aerosol that you spray in there, for two reasons. First of all, it blows things further back in your machine, doesn't pull it out. And secondly, if you spray that long enough, it'll start to put frost on whatever you're spraying. So no canned air. Brush is good enough, but if you really want to, you can use your vacuum cleaner. And then right down here in the middle of the hook area is this little felty looking thing. That is put there when the machine is manufactured, and it's called an oil wick. They put the oil in the machine right there. You do not need to oil your machine. Just know that's what that is. Just leave that in there. Then to put the bobbin case back in, there's these little marks, a yellow one and a red one. Those need to match up. And this little knob needs to go to the left of that stopper. Also, this part of the bobbin case needs to sit neatly on that rim. So I'll show you. Just scoop this underneath like that, and see how I put that in really easily like that. You want to make sure, I give it a little rock side to side to make sure it's sitting right on that rim. Okay, next we put the needle plate back on. These little ears go right underneath on the left-hand side and push down on the center. Before I do that, I want to show you again. These are the two little clips that go in those two little cleats. So this little target is about in the middle between those two. When you put this on, press on the target, and it's all back on. You get a warning message over here just to make sure it says you have the proper presser foot attached for this particular kind of needle plate. Okay. This machine is really nice about giving you these little warnings and little notices just to make sure everything's working correctly. Okay, now we're going to put the needle back in. When you do your cleaning of your machine, that's probably also a good time to change your needle. You want to change your needle every 3 full bobbins that you use up. So if you sew through an entire full bobbin, that's a lot of sewing that you've done. By that time, the tip of the needle has gone through the fabric so many times for 3 full bobbins that it's starting to get a little bit dull at the tip. That could make it so that skip stitches could happen, but even worse, a dull tipped needle could actually damage your fabric with each stitch. So if your needle has never been changed and you've been sewing for 10 years, better change that needle. Okay, so to put the needle in, remember we've got this lockout, and that's great. I kind of like this little tool. Now this tool is actually a Baby Lock product, and it's a brush, but it has this needle inserter at the end. It makes it a little bit easier for putting the needle in rather than just holding it with my fingers. Always make sure the flat side of the needle is towards the back, and then we go under here. Now if you bend down, you can see there's a little window. I'm going to point to it right there. That little window right there. Right under that is where you put your needle, like that. And it should be pointing right down to the hole in the needle plate where it sews. So give it the upward pressure, tighten this up, get your screwdriver, and tighten it a little bit more. Always make sure that you tighten it with your screwdriver, not just finger tight. That way the needle won't work loose and fall out of your machine. And put the foot back on, like that. Now, about needles, you want to make sure you're using good quality needles like Classe or Schmetz. Those are good quality needles. You're going to get less skip stitches, less shredded thread, things like that. And same thing with bobbins. You want to make sure you get the class 15 bobbins that are meant for this kind of machine. A lot of different machines take the class 15, but not all do. So make sure you're using the correct bobbins, correct needle, and of course, good thread. I would recommend the Mettler Metrocene thread that we sell here. It's a good quality thread. It's going to sew well, give you good stitches. So that's your basic maintenance on your machine. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, give us a thumbs up. And if you have comments or questions, you can leave those in the area down below. We have lots of other videos on our YouTube channel, so stay tuned. Thanks for watching. Bye.